Hey everybody, how you doing? IntoWeapons back again with you. Got another Black Friday special to share with you today. Going to do a quick unboxing of this rifle that showed up at my FFL a few days ago. Going to do a unboxing on a Czechoslovakian copy of the VZ2008. This is the Century Arms International VZ2008, which I'm sure many of you are familiar with. There's been a few channels on YouTube that have done a video on this recently, and which is one of the reasons I purchased it. The other reason was the price. It was an awesome price for the package, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But overall, a pretty cool rifle, guys. In the box that we received from J&G Sales, it originally came with the rifle and one magazine, which is not a standard AK-47 magazine. This is an alloy, non-steel magazine that only works in the VZ2008s, but it is obviously 7.62 by 3.9. Very similar looking, but you'll notice it has this rib along the back which protrudes from the magazine, which I believe assists with the last round bolt hold open feature that this rifle is known for. It also came with a sling, which was standard with this package. It also came with a cleaning kit, which I have not opened up yet. It's just a green pouch here. I'm guessing it's just probably a standard surplus type cleaning kit with a guide rod and maybe a brush, that kind of stuff. So nothing too extraordinary in there. I'm not really going to dig that open. It also came with an owner's manual, which is pretty standard for Century Arms International. A lot of good instructions in there. I opted to purchase an extra magazine for $20, which was, again, since these are not standard magazines, good to have at least one extra magazine. Those range between $10 and $20 depending on the market. I might pick up another or two down the line sometime. I also added on the $20 for an extra bayonet, or for a bayonet I should say, for this rifle, which included the Bakelite handle here, which is matches the wood on this particular rifle. The bayonet could be in better shape. It's a little bit rusty, as you can see there. It's not sharp, obviously. They generally don't send these sharpened. But overall, it's pretty nice little bayonet. The Bakelite handle on it's pretty cool. It's not as thrilling as an AK bayonet in my opinion, but it's not an AK-47. And then it also has the import sticker, which is pretty standard with these rifles. So let me clean this up a little, guys. We'll come back and take a little bit closer look at the rifle. Alright guys, so we got the box out of the way and everything. We can take a closer look at the rifle and some of the accessories here. But again, this is a Czechoslovakian copy, or I should say a Czechoslovakian VZ2008 copy done by Century International Arms. The CAI designation is the VZ2008. This one more closely resembles the VZ2008V, or VZ2008, if I said that right, or Airborne, and that's just due to the folding stock that it has on here. This does not have a fixed Bakelite stock, which some of the models do have. This one has that folding stock, which is a right-hand folder. The button here releases, you push up and it folds it this way. The button is a little bit tight. I think that's just because, again, it's newer production. Probably just need to break it in a little bit, but as you can see, it folds up pretty nicely, and then we can push the button up again to get that stock back into the original position. Locks up pretty tight. There's a little bit of play there, but not too bad. The receiver has the serial number on it, which is marked by Century Arms International. It is a US-made receiver and a US-made barrel that the rest of the parts kit is kind of built on. Century Arms International does the receiver themselves. I'm not sure where the barrel comes from. That could be in-house or it could be contracted out. I'm not positive. Specifications for this particular rifle. The cost for me with the two magazines, the sling, the cleaning kit, and the bayonet, which again the bayonet and the extra magazine was an add-on, was an out-the-door price of $500, which included all my taxes, FFL, shipping, and everything else. J&G Sales had a one-day sale on this for the rifle and one magazine, the sling, and the cleaning kit for, I believe it was $399. Again, I added on an extra magazine and the bayonet for $40, and with shipping and handling and everything, that was a pretty reasonable price in my opinion. A lot of these retailers are selling the rifle itself for around $500, $599 sometimes, so that Black Friday special wasn't too bad. It is 7.62 by 3.9 caliber. Overall length is 35.5 inches. Length with the stock folded is 27 inches. Height without the magazine is 6.25 inches. Barrel length is 16.25 inches, which is pretty standard for an AK-47, SKS, regular type rifle like this. Weight with empty magazine is 7 pounds, which is one of the key features of this rifle. Is it's extraordinarily light compared to an AK-47, even though it has a milled receiver. I wasn't expecting as big of a difference in the weight as it was. When I first picked this up, it is really something. You just have to feel to really believe. The thing is extraordinarily light compared to an AK-47, so about a pound less actually. Trigger pull is about 5.7 pounds is what they list it as. I recently got a trigger scale, and it seems to be 8+ pounds to me. I'm guessing more around 9, 10, maybe even 11 pounds. I couldn't get the trigger scale to actually pull out on it and give me a reading on it. So the 5.7 pounds that they're listing is not correct, at least for my rifle. And then the furniture and the stock here, or I should say the pistol grip, is that Bakelite, which is essentially a wood impregnated with plastic. It gives it a cool look, kind of a cool com-block look to it. Original type Bakelite grips like that. Been coming a little bit back more in stock, so or in style, I should say. So that's kind of a neat feature to have on there. The history on this rifle, I just have a couple things to mention. It was developed by Czechoslovakia and issued to the Czech Army in 1958, hence the designation VZ2008. It's still used by the Czech and Slovak armies, police and custom agents, even though the rifle, the production was discontinued in 1984. And through that time, from 1958 to 1984, there was over 920,000 of the VZ2008 rifles produced by Czechoslovakia. It resembles the Soviet AK-47 externally, as many people kind of get them confused, but internally it's a completely different design. And this one is based on a short-stroke gas piston system, which is again different from an AK-47. The particular design of this rifle allows it to stay much cleaner. Sometimes people say it's a little bit more accurate, but overall the design, I believe, is probably superior to that of an AK-47, just because it's the tighter tolerances, the less of the moving parts, that kind of thing. So very cool rifle, the design of it. The VZ2008 is a copy made by Century Arms International on the original parts kit, like I mentioned, using a U.S.-made milled receiver and U.S.-made non-chrome line barrel. Some of the nice features of this rifle is that it is milled receiver. It's U.S.-made by Century Arms International. Again, it's 7 pounds, even with the milled receiver, so it's very light. As you can see, I can easily carry this with one hand. It's extraordinarily light, which is a really cool feature. It has a last round bolt hold open, and I can demonstrate that. This magazine doesn't have anything in it, obviously. And if I go ahead and put the magazine and pull it back, you'll notice that it stops in the last round if this magazine was empty. So that's kind of a cool feature. When you release the magazine, it does not release the bolt, which if many of you are familiar with the Yugo bolt hold open mags that function like that, this actually has an internal mechanism that's holding that bolt open. Now it's similar to an AR-15. It actually does have a bolt hold open release here, so I can go ahead and, or I'm sorry, that doesn't release it, but if I pull back on it, it'll release it, and then I can use this button to lock it back even if the magazine is not in it, which is cool. So pull it back, push up the button, and it locks that bolt back. So that's kind of a neat feature. The bolt hold open carry release button, which is similar to an AR-15, is kind of a neat feature with it. The magazine can be reloaded while in the firearm, which is kind of cool. I didn't even realize this until I read up on this gun a little bit, but let's say you have the magazine in the rifle, you're actually able to load from the top down into the magazine using SKS stripper clips, which is kind of interesting. So 10 rounds at a time, 3 stripper clips, so you could pump the magazine full here probably a lot quicker than you're able to hand load it. I have yet to test that, but I'm curious to see how that works, so I might end up doing a separate video on that. So that was kind of a neat feature, I thought, being able to top load the magazine through the firearm. It has a more ergonomic safety grip or lever compared to an AK-47. As many of you know, you have that AK-47 lever here on the side of the rifle that is a little bit more difficult to maneuver. This one actually has just a little lever right here which flips between fire and safe. Now, some people say that's more ergonomical. I can't use my trigger finger as easily to manipulate that, but you know, using your thumb to come around, I guess, works just as well. So you know, personally, I think it's probably the same between an AK and this rifle. It does have a bayonet lug, and it's not as noticeable as it would be on an AK-47. As you can see there, it's a little bit smaller. And the other interesting feature of the bayonet is that it doesn't go from the front back. It actually goes from the back forward, like that. So that's a little bit interesting. I've never seen a design like that before. It still does have a locking mechanism in there, so it locks up, and there's a button on the left-hand side here which you can push, and it will release the bayonet. Seems like the bayonet locks up pretty nicely on it. It isn't loose or have a lot of play in it, which is kind of nice. It does have a threaded muzzle. It is a 14 by 1 right-hand twist, which is a little bit different than a standard AK, which is a left-hand twist. As you can see, they got a tap-go slant brake on there. At least I think it's tap-go. Yeah, it doesn't actually say tap-go, so that might be an in-house slant brake that they have on there. Again, being a right-hand thread, that might make a difference as far as what you're able to put on there. It's striker fired, not hammer fired like an AK-47. Some people say that reduces the number of parts and possible points of failure, so just a little bit more reliability with that type of firing system. It has a toolless disassembly, which is cool. I won't get into the disassembly on this particular video. I'll probably just do a separate one, but the disassembly is just as easy as an AK-47, which is really nice. And just one thing to mention is the magazine is not a steel magazine. It's like an alloy magazine, which is about half the weight of a standard AK magazine, which is kind of nice, but still has the durability and rigidity of a standard steel magazine. At least I think it does, and seems like it'll hold together real nice. So overall, that's pretty much it, guys. Excited to have this gun as part of my collection. It's not an AK-47, but it was close enough to the family of AK-47s, being that the Czechs didn't really want to use an AK-47. They kind of wanted to do their own thing, and they designed this rifle very close into the time frame that the AK-47 was designed. So I think this was a pretty cool addition to the collection, and I'm looking forward to getting out and doing some test footage with it. So hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. As always, I appreciate watching. Until next time, take it easy.